Good morning to everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Mohamed-Fares, Brini, and I'm an assistant professor at the University of Carthage in Tunisia. I'm pleased to share with you my study, which is entitled Entrepreneurial Work Meaningfulness, Comparative Study with Public and Private Work Employment. I will proceed first with an introduction, then I will present the research background, the method and procedures. Next, I will show the results and discuss them, and I will finally conclude the several remarks. In the current work employment landscape, the quest for meaning becomes a problematic concern for individual and organization and different workplaces. However, a large body of research has maintained the distinctiveness and richness of the entrepreneurial experience as associated with high level of purpose, significance, and meaningfulness. So the main purpose of the study was to show this particularity and compare it with commonly known paid employment that is the public and private work employment. So let's first overview the research background on meaningfulness. The study of the concept has moved from a labor process traditional theory to more positive and psychology-based phenomena. The first approach consisted of managing meaning by the management and organization system, which is currently known as the fabric of meaning. So the individual has no or little responsibility for making their work meaningful. However, the second approach was that meaningful work is either an individual and subjective and positive experience, and meaningful work is generally defined as the value of work, goal, or purpose judged to the individual own ideals or standards. So this approach is drawn from meaning in life research and positive psychology literatures. So this approach of meaningful work entails more deeper meaning, the demonic well-being, and hazy calling orientation, that is a positive impact and contribution. So when applied to the entrepreneurial field, meaningful work has gained more attention by considering the individual and psychological patterns of entrepreneurship. So witnessing the reframing of the basic economic pillars that viewed financial and firm level as the main interest, to study the social benefits of the experience, the focus of individual fit with the activity and the environment, and furthermore, how the entrepreneurs shape their personal and relevant opportunities and develop their self-identity. So it's basically linked with the questions and concerns of being and becoming. So different topics have therefore emerged, such as the entrepreneurial design and bricolage, the entrepreneurial subjective well-being, and the entrepreneurship as e-calling. All of these capture the richness and the meaningfulness of such an experience. For example, we talked about the entrepreneurial passion, feelings of desire, and as in extreme and big experiences, big experience of this activity. When compared to paid employment, scholars have mostly referred to the self-determination theory to explain that entrepreneurial work is more self-determined and organized career choice, and thus more likely to be linked to purpose, meaning, and significance. And previous empirical studies generally supported this assumption and found that entrepreneurial work is linked with, for example, meaningful work, well-being, and happiness at work. So the main hypothesis of the study was that entrepreneurial work experience would be more likely to associated with meaningfulness than public and private experiences. So this hypothesis, I conducted a logistic regression, which is applied to classify and predict the membership to an outcome variable, categorical outcome variable. Here, the employment type. The sample consisted of 197 working individuals, subdivided into 3 categories: entrepreneurs, public employees, and private employees. Meaningful work was measured using the scale developed by Versma and White, which consisted of 17 items and measuring 4 dimensions of meaningful work. As for the results, so the table 2 shows the factor analysis of meaningful work construct. It's a 4-dimensional construct comprising dimensions of unity with others, serving others, full potential, and developing the self. So the factor analysis had determined the value of KMO higher than 0.5, and all loadings were bigger than 0.6. The confirmatory factor analysis also confirms the factorial solution as shown in table 2 and the chi-square test. Next, the universal descriptive statistics show that entrepreneurial work reported higher, more meaningful work dimensions than public and private employees, and the larger difference was found compared to public employees. Next, we reach the logistic regression analysis, and the table 3 shows the model fitting of the analysis. The meaningful work variables explained well the type of employment as shown table 3, which indicates good model fit. The chi-square test was significant, and the value of R squared or pseudo R squared margin curve was fairly good, 0.267. Also, in table 4, we can see each dimension contribution to the outcome variable, and it shows that unity with others, serving others, and full potential significantly contributed to explain the employment category, except for development the self, which was found not significant. The final table shows also the odds ratio of each dimensions of meaningful work. And we can see that for each unit increase in meaningful work, the odds or probability of being an entrepreneur ranged from 2 to 3 times higher than being public or private employee. In particular, it was 3 times in the case of full potential. Moreover, the difference is larger when compared to public employment. Finally, the findings of the study confirm the assumption or the hypothesis that entrepreneurial work is more likely to associated with meaningful work than public and private employment. The study also showed that entrepreneurs reported higher feelings of meaningfulness, in particular expressing their full potential. Such findings also challenge the assumption about entrepreneurial loneliness and social isolation, as well as the long-established public service motivation efforts. That is, that public employees have more feelings of serving others than other types of experience. I recommend, therefore, that meaningfulness or meaningful work can be considered as a psychological resource of an entrepreneurial work, which can also challenge the assumption that entrepreneurs only pursue wealth creation and financial outcomes. And it's also can also help to promote in general the entrepreneurship as the attractive and interesting work experience and career choice. At the end of the presentation, this is a brief biography, and finally, I thank you very much for your listening and attention.